Okay, so here is the home screen. As you can see, it looks very similar to the Carer app, the Carer Village, but we were able to make a few tweaks to make it more child friendly. So I'm just going to take you through a few of its features. We'll start with the top left, which is the calendar. This one's pretty self-explanatory. We'll be able to put events such as NAIDOC Week, Children's Week, and important events such as the Children's Christmas Party here. So you can also add personal events into this that won't show up on everyone else that has the app. Then we'll go into the feedback and complaints. So that is the bottom middle, and when I open that up, that is going to immediately give you the option to give a complaint or provide feedback. So if I click into it here, as you can see, it shows you some information about what feedback is and what a complaint is. And if you wanted to go through and make a complaint or provide feedback, it's got down the bottom here the phone number or the email address. So if you were to click either of those, the phone number would call that person and the email would immediately send your feedback or complaint to the person it needs to go to here. Okay, then if we go to the next area, which is back, I'm going to take you up to the top right this time. This is the notices area. Now, this is where we're going to be doing most of the communication with young people. And as you can see here, I've got a few things already put up there, such as a competition. We've got some articles, some interesting things, such as the youth consultants ad. So if you were to go into the youth consultants and read this ad, it's OzChild is wanting some youth consultants and this is a paid opportunity for them. So they can have a look at this and contact us if they're interested. I'll take you back here. Now we're going to go to the information area. So that is the bottom left, and this is the information hub that will be providing information to young people that use the app. And as you can see here, I've kind of put it into sections and themes. So most of the information that you'll find in here is in glossary form, and it's going to be explaining what certain words and phrases that you might hear around when you come into care, such as what's an AFLDM. So if we were to look into here, we can go into the one that's third from the bottom, meetings, and we can click into that, and it's a glossary of important terms, words, phrases. So if I was to click this, I can download it, which I already have to my phone, and we can see it here. It will open up the glossary, and the first one here says AFLDM. So if I didn't know what that was, I could come to this app, look through the glossary, and find out what an AFLDM is. So we have sectioned it into different areas, such as court, such as meetings, my people, etc. So we're constantly going to be updating this area to give children the ability to look so they don't have to go onto the internet and Google possibly outdated or incorrect information. Then we're going to go over to the bottom right, which is useful links and apps. This is where we'll be posting useful videos, links to articles, links to other apps such as mental health ones like Beyond Blue, and we'll be able to post videos, podcasts even as well will be put here, and those are things that children might be able to access from their phone or access from a carer's phone or internet as well. Okay, so at the top middle here, we've got the contact and staff directory. Now I'm going to click that and show you what comes up. Okay, so you can see a list of contacts here. If we go into one, particularly Foster Care South, for example, we have a list here of staff members and their personal details. We can go in and click Emily. It has her working hours, so that shows you when she'll be able to reply to any messages or contact you, and it also has a little bit about her. Now, if we go down to the very bottom, it has her contact number and her email address. So as I said just then, if you were to email them, it would bring up your email and they'll be able to contact you. Okay, so that's it. That is the OzChild My Journey Children and Young People app. It's available to download both at the Apple and the Play Store right now, but your worker can help you download it if you have any issues at your next home visit.